Welcome back to my channel and to my blog. Today, I want to talk about something very specific that I get a lot of questions about, right? My videos on money and manifesting money are the most popular videos. And today, I want to answer a question that I got from a specific person, which is, how can I get out of debt? Right? How can I make peace with my debt? How can I get out of debt? It's bad. And they've heard me mention in a previous video that I've been in debt and I got out of it really quickly and I appreciated the debt. So today I want to share with you a quick tip, one tip. So there's a lot of things that I could talk about on this topic of abundance and manifesting money and debt. But today I want to specifically talk about one key thing that is keeping you from paying off your debt as quickly as possible. And I want to tell you that I've been in debt. I had almost 40 grand of debt for my graduate school. I went to the Institute of Transpersonal Psychology to become a marriage and family therapist. And then I got pregnant with twins towards the end of the program, and I didn't end up completing my master's, so I'm half a master. Keeps me humble. And then I had pregnancy and birth, and I had 40 grand in debt without even a degree to show for it, right? And it took me about 5 years to pay that off. And this was, I went to grad school, my kids are now almost 9, so 10, 11 years ago that I took on this debt, right? And then the second time I was in debt was more recently. I kept growing my team and expanding, and then I had some setbacks, and I did this big launch and spent all this money on advertising, and it didn't pan out, and I ended up 40 grand in debt in my company, in my business. And this time around, I had learned a lot of things from the first time I was in debt, and so I wasn't worried about it. It wasn't the same like heavy, oh my God, what are we gonna do? I've done something terrible, this is awful. Like, I was raised with the idea that debt is the worst thing in the world and you should pay it off as quickly as possible. And like, you know, somehow you should be ashamed of being in it. And I really had to work through it. So, are you ready for the one tip that I'm gonna give you today that can help you not only feel better about being in debt, but also pay it off a lot quicker and leverage the resources of the universe, leverage the law of attraction to help you out? You ready? Celebrate the debt. Be grateful for the debt. Appreciate the debt, right? So what happened is I was judging the debt and I didn't enjoy having it. I didn't enjoy talking about it. I didn't enjoy paying it off. Every time I made a payment, I was like, ugh. I'm just like siphoning money off in here and it's awful and I don't like, this is a bad thing. And it would just be like this heavy weight on me. And then I started realizing, why did I take this debt in the first place? And I had the opportunity to go to graduate school that has completely transformed who I am at my very core, right? My cousins, you guys, some of you know I grew up in Russia. My cousins couldn't go to school because they couldn't get access to credit. They didn't have the money. They didn't have a bank that would give them any credit. So the fact that I could have the privilege of having debt, especially for education or for starting a business or following my dream in any way, was already like such a shift from this is bad, I don't want it, how did this happen, to like, oh my God, I'm so grateful. And then I started thinking about everything that I've gained from that debt. So yeah, it was 40 grand to go to grad school and I didn't get a degree, but here's what I did get. And I started talking and thinking about and celebrating all of the things that I learned about myself. I wouldn't have had the kind of amazing twin home birth, right? My twins are born 33 hours apart, right? I wouldn't have the relationship I have with my husband. I wouldn't be the kind of mother I am. Heck, I would have never started the business that I do now. I've been doing this video. None of this would have been possible without going to graduate school and learning those specific skills and having that experience. And that was a huge gift. And so I started looking at that debt as like a gift, an honorable experience, like really cherishing it and celebrating it, right? And you can do this in your life, right? Look at the debt you have. Think about what it got you now. The second time I got in debt was a little bit trickier, right? Because it was for my business. I had a few really successful years. I felt like I knew better. I felt like, yeah, it was hard to learn a lot of lessons, but have like nothing to show for it, especially as a teacher of manifestation. You're like, I should be rolling in the dough already. Like everything should always go perfectly, right? Yeah, what's that joke? You want to make God laugh, tell him your plans. I kind of feel like it's the same way with your expectations, right? So I didn't get what I wanted. I didn't get what I expected, but I got what I needed. And as I started celebrating the lessons I learned more lessons in that short experience, which it only took me like 8 months to pay off that entire debt, maybe even less. Because I realized that those were valuable lessons that I needed to learn, and I learned it in a compressed amount of time. This knowledge that I got from that failed launch will probably go on to serve me for years and years and years to come and make me a multi-millionaire, right? Billionaire maybe, because I learned what not to do, who not to work with, how not to do things, when things don't work for me, how to pull out of it. Like, those were difficult things to go through, but I'm so grateful for those lessons. And so every time I would look at that debt, I felt gratitude. I felt appreciation. I felt like, thank you, thank you. Every time I made a payment for that debt, I was so grateful to even make the payment. It would be like the equivalent of, being able to buy yourself a life necessary surgery that like saved your life. Would you not be grateful to make a payment for that surgery, even if it's for a few years and you're like, this gave me life, literally. I'm so grateful that the surgeon or whoever, the hospital, gave me a payment plan to be able to pay it off. When you honor something, when you respect something, when you appreciate something, it has a way of serving you. When you color something bad, when you color a situation bad, you cannot derive the good from it, right? And when you color something good, you can extract so much benefit and meaning from it. That's why there are people who've been through horrible, atrocious things like war or some sort of like trauma, and they are able to take those lemons and make lemonade. They are able to find meaning and opportunities in that situation. It's made them who they are. And I hope this is what you will do with your debt. So if you are in debt, I want you to do a couple of things. One is to say thank you to this debt. Think about what it gave you. Maybe it gave you an opportunity to be in school, or to drive a car, or to take a trip, or to do something meaningful. Focus on what you received. Maybe it gave you a lot of lessons of what not to do, and you can say thank you for the 40 grand in debt instead of the $100,000 in debt, which I saw a lot of my friends go through. When they played at a bigger level, it was a much higher thing to fall from. Any successful business person will tell me, Donald Trump or whoever, everyone's been bankrupt, right? Like, they live and learn those lessons, and somehow we think that we're bad, but everyone, even the richest people, go through these experiences, right? So find a way to celebrate your debt, and then celebrate each payment that you make towards your debt. Get excited about it. Be like, ooh, I'm excited to pay off whatever I can, $50, $100, whatever it is. And what started happening is I got 0% debt. I was able to move things around. Like, all of these opportunities opened up for me to pay it off a lot sooner with not a whole lot of cost. And that was because I was in the right mindset, in the right vibration to be able to receive the benefit. And now I can speak about it proudly. And I don't feel, which is the biggest manifestation, right? Is that I don't feel like I'm a bad person, stupid person, or something's gone wrong that I was in debt. I can help head up high, be proud. Even speaking with my family, who's very fiscally conservative, and that was a big concern for my parents, I could say, you know what, that was absolutely worth it for me. And then I've been receiving the benefits of what I invested in, and I'm so grateful for every penny of that credit, of that debt, even the interest that I paid in my educational debt, because without having access to it, I would not be where I am today. Let me know if this is useful to you. Let me know how you feel after you start reframing your debt in a way that is positive and grateful and appreciative, and maybe even celebrate. And certainly you can imagine yourself celebrating when you've paid off that debt. I did that for a long time. Before I celebrate, I was like, how am I going to celebrate when I completely paid off my debt? And honestly, I was almost like a little sad. I was like, oh, debt, like, you've been such an amazing partner in this journey for me. Thank you. Thank you for being, it's almost like saying goodbye to a friend that you really are grateful for, that was there for you in tough times. And then I was like, thank you. I hope I don't see you again sometime soon, but love ya. So I hope this has been useful for you. Let me know your thoughts on this topic, and let me know what else you want me to cover on the topic of money or abundance or debt even. Subscribe to this channel so that you can receive more videos like this. Please share this with friends who could benefit from this information. And thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you later, alligator. Woo!